What's up, guys? Welcome to VHB Engines. So I'm going to take a few minutes here today to present to you guys my first true feature video. This one being about Alex Tomlinson and some of his builds that he's done. Alex has always been one of those guys that, sets new bars for achievements on what to do with Hondas. I mean, I can't really say he's the biggest pioneer, like he's gone out there and done the first of anything, but he definitely does like to do high quality builds, go with the best tuners, the best parts, the best possible combinations, which eventually, led to me having this video based on him now. I met him back in 2014 when I first got out of the Army and moved back from El Paso to Miami. I had a bunch of stuff in storage, of course, just like now. I had a bunch of parts, and after a while I was starting to let him go to help build up funds for getting my own place. Anyway, he was one of the first of the buyers that I ran into down in Florida that wasn't full of shit. He saw a post, commented, made arrangements, didn't bullshit me on the price when he showed up, and from there we kind of hit it off. Shared info, Facebook info, and did business off and on and chatted back and forth ever since then, and of course, obviously, we still do. Back at the time, he was building a Type R. I do believe it was a Type R, although in the end it doesn't really matter once he turns it into the monster he did. If I remember correctly, it was running about 500 some horsepower at the time, and I don't remember exactly what the reason was for, but I mean, probably boredom was a big part of it. But boredom, torque, gear ratios, and transmissions, the little things like that try to make up the most difference in what you have. But eventually this monstrous B series that he had, which was making like 500 horsepower, this one right here, that eventually got parted out, and that money went into building a K20, I do believe. And that K was CSS, and eventually, when it came together, I think Durf tuned it down to like 700 some horsepower. And in the quick little chat we had with me leading up to getting the info for this build, he told me that of course that the tune wasn't set solid at the time. It could have made more. CSS guarantees their blocks to hold about 800 horsepower. And from what the 700 some had put down with not being properly tuned all the way, not improperly tuned, but not being fully tuned, just goes to show, like, that it's a thing that we can probably believe in, 800 being achievable. Anyway, 700 horsepower to play around with for a little while, and eventually the car got detuned into the 500 bracket, the 500 wheel horsepower bracket. I think it was mid 500s, a little bit higher. Of course, Alex can correct that. And even with that detuning, he still went out and managed to do this. And this. And this. Now, at the time when he first finally started dropping all the footage on this, he got spotlight from a lot of the tuner channels. And there's a lot of those big channels that are based down in Florida, like Four Bangers Production posted up videos of it. That racing channel posted up videos of it. I think also 1320s did too. So I'm the little fish in the pond here, but You know, he's already been put out there a bunch of times. And as a matter of fact, that footage I just shown you is something you might have already seen because of that. Now, it wasn't long after that that car came together that he started talking about another part out, because he wasn't really happy with the way the car was putting down power, even with the monstrous drags that you can see in the pics that he put on the car. Still wasn't happy with the way the power was being delivered. You know, too much slip. He wanted to be able to do digs without breaking axles, stuff like that. So I'm not 100% sure exactly why he picked the MR2. Maybe at the time he was inspired by that 1100 horsepower record-setting MR2 that was out there. I think also on that racing channel. But anyway, it's still great. It's inspiring. You know, I knew he got the car. I wanted to follow along. He didn't really put out too many pictures of it right away. Of course, it was still a shell, but then slowly, you see the adapter kit that comes just like the H2B. That he made an adapter. He got the adapter plate to use the MR2's transmission, and got the kit to put it in. And after I saw the swap in the MR2, it gave me butterflies. It gave me Honda butterflies, and it made me want to push for something more, to be able to do something like that. And lucky for us, nowadays the way things are, is that sky's the limit. With fabrication the way it is, your imagination you can do pretty much anything you imagine. I was poking around online, and I'm looking and I'm finding that there's Miata's got K-swaps in them. RX-7s and RX-8s have fucking K-swaps in them. I even saw fucking Porsches and Lotuses with K-swaps in them, and a Suzuki with K-swaps. There's just a whole bunch of these cars out there running around with this K engine, and it's just become like the 2JZ of the four-cylinder world. And anyway, I asked him a bunch of questions. Didn't want to bother him too much because the dude's real busy. I mean, I met him not too long ago. He was working for Honda. They switched over to Acura, and throughout this time doing this, he's had his own shop. So he deals with a lot of people, and most of those times are just people that aren't really trying to come through. So I don't want to bother too much with hassling. But I asked a little bit, and I got I got this permission to use the pictures and all that stuff. And but so I went back and I realized I didn't ask exactly where he got the kit from. So I did a little digging around myself, and I found this website here. And they have, I'm not sure if that's the one he got the kit from, but I mean it might be that it didn't seem like there was too many places that were making this kind of fabrication stuff. They have stuff there for the MR2 Spider, which is I think the 2000 or 2005. I didn't really poke around that too much because this is not the topic. And then there's also, they have kits for the MR2 tranny, and then kits for a different transmission from Toyota. And to my great happiness and surprise, they do have a mount kit for a full K-swap to go in there. And that actually seems to be the cheapest route at a $450 price, And MR2s, they are probably a little harder to find in good shape, but they're not super, super expensive, simply because of the fact that it takes one's imagination to do a build like this, and not very many people are looking for that kind of car as a project like that. So anyway, for you guys that are watching that are in South Florida, I 110% recommend Alex for your Honda work. As my small popularity started to grow in South Florida for the engine builds, I would have people come to me all the time to do either general maintenance, or they wanted me to do swaps for them, or pull out engines, any of that to get prepped for a build. And every single time one of those guys would come fishing around me, I would immediately redirect them to Alex. He's one of the few people that I feel confident enough to not be embarrassed to send somebody to for work. So if you're watching this and you are from down there and you're not already friends with Alex, and you're looking for somebody to do good quality work that may not rape you on labor prices and stuff, I think Alex is definitely the guy to check in with on that. And I'm going to leave a link down below for his Instagram, which is Alex Built. And anyway, I think that's pretty much going to be about it. I'm going to wrap this video up now. If you like what you saw and you would like to see more, There's my playlist should be popping up right around here pretty soon. It's going to be my core, like the core section of this channel is engine assembly videos, and then below that you can see what I've most recently posted up. And if you haven't already, you can subscribe over here. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.